Coming in at number 29 in my 2022 MLB Power Rankings is the Pittsburgh Pirates, moving up a spot after they were ranked in the basement at number 30 last year. I was initially going to have the Pirates coming in at number 30 behind Baltimore, but then I looked at the rosters. The Pirates made some additions, and a couple of those additions will probably end up being decent players for them. They added Daniel Vogelbach for a first base/DH role. They added infielder Michael Chavis. They added outfielder Greg Allen. They added pitcher Jose Quintana. And they also added, because they lost catcher Jacob Stallings, they replaced him with Roberto Perez. The best player in the MVP of this Pittsburgh team is definitely their outfielder Bryan Reynolds. Reynolds came up to the bigs in 2019 and was a terrific rookie. But in 2020, Reynolds was really no good. He had a 637 OPS. But in 2021, he responded by being even better than his 2019 self. Bryan Reynolds established himself as a really big player in this league, and he's going to be that for years to come. He's definitely the best player on this underwhelming Pittsburgh squad. There was some talk of him potentially getting moved, but he's staying in Pittsburgh for a fourth season. We'll have to see if he ends up going down as a good player, bad team talent, or if he ends up getting traded sometime in the near future to a contender. If you're Bryan Reynolds, I know players like being comfortable sometimes. Maybe he would want to stay in Pittsburgh, but I know if I was in the MLB, I would want to look back on my career, no matter what, as a big part of a really competitive core rather than maybe the one standout on a rebuilding franchise. But this is not about that. Bryan Reynolds is a Pittsburgh Pirate. Bryan Reynolds is playing for you Pirate fans out there. Reynolds is not an insane power guy, but he is with the on-base skills. He hit 302, a 912 OPS despite just 24 home runs. Not like that's bad, but it's not like power is his big skill or anything like that. Another player that's sort of an addition because they only had him for 43 games last year and an intriguing sleeper player on this team is Yoshi Tsutsugo, the guy who was with the Rays for a while. He kind of wasn't great, but he did find himself in the leadoff role sometimes for Tampa. There was always that potential with him. Yoshi Tsutsugo had an 882 OPS, 8 home runs when he came to Pittsburgh for 43 games late last season, so I'm excited to see what he does. Arguably the biggest thing Pirates fans will be following this year is shortstop Oneil Cruz, plugged into the shortstop position now. He played a few games last year. He was actually really good in the very brief sample size that he had, but he's a huge prospect. Oneil Cruz, probably a big shortstop down the road later this decade, or even just in like 2 years, we could be talking about this Oneil Cruz dude as like one of the best shortstops in all of Major League Baseball. Third baseman Ke'Bryan Hayes, it's a huge year for him. I honestly expect some good things for him, He's kind of in the situation Reynolds was in, just a year later than Reynolds, because first year came up and was really great. That was Hayes in 2020, and then 2021, year 2 for Hayes, really bad year, just like Bryan Reynolds in 2020. So I think Ke'Bryan Hayes has so much potential. He's so fun to watch. I think Ke'Bryan Hayes is going to establish himself as a good player. I'll be rooting for Ke'Bryan Hayes this year. Stat projection-wise for Hayes, assuming he stays healthy, I'll say he hits like about 25 home runs, a 290 average. We'll go with an 840 OPS. I think he's a good, solid player. Last year, I had him as the team MVP going into 2021. There's a case that the Pirates could have an above-average outfield. Ben Gamel is out there with Reynolds and Greg Allen. I think Greg Allen also has some potential. Remember, he was with the Yankees last year. He played really well, but the Yankees weren't really giving him a shot. Gamel's a really average left fielder. We can't overlook the loss they're experiencing at the catcher position. Okay, Jacob Stallings was a good catcher. He went to Miami. Roberto Perez is a really bad hitter. Good defender, but really bad hitter. Finally out of Cleveland, he's into Pittsburgh. So there's some excitement on the offensive end for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but this pitching staff is really bad, and it's why I think they're going to lose over 100 games. Just to name a few arms they're going to be thrown out: JT Brubaker, Mitch Keller, Max Kranick, who's from my hometown. Those are a couple arms that you'll likely see out of the rotation. The bullpen added Heath Hembree. They really don't have much experience out there besides Chris Stratton, who is a good solid mid-3 ERAs reliever. Also another loss, remember, Adam Frazier contributed a lot to this team in the first half last year before he was traded out to the Seattle Mariners. So no more Adam Frazier. Pittsburgh, I have them going 61-101. Comment your record projection below. Stay tuned for more team rankings.